Hi, this is Anna Housman with Emerge Pediatric Therapy, and for today's Tuesday Talks, Tips, and Tricks, we are going to be talking about tips for talking with your teens. So fun! Yes, so teenagers, gotta love them. They are starting to come into their own with their own thoughts and opinions and ideas, and sometimes that makes it really difficult to talk with them rather than feeling like you're talking at them. It's difficult to get them talking back to you. So I'm here to share some things that I do in my sessions to get teenagers talking with me. Of course, it doesn't work all of the time, but hopefully there are some things to help you in this. And at the end, I will share some tips from my teens that they wanted to share with other parents and things that they wished that parents and caregivers knew. So let's dive in. The first thing I want to challenge you to think about when you are talking with teenagers is thinking about how you are asking them a question. So one that comes up pretty frequently with any teenager is questions about homework. Whether it's missing homework, or did you do your homework, or what is for homework, or how's it going? Let's kind of think about two different ways and compare how talking about homework could go. Let's say you sit down with your teen and you ask them, so, how's homework going? What do you think they're going to answer with? Probably, yeah, fine, no, it's whatever, it's good, it sucks, something along those lines. It's very short. Did you get any good information from that? Probably not. But what if we phrase it this way? So, tell me about your homework. You could probably still say it's fine, no big deal, it sucks. But you have a better chance of getting a little more feedback from them. Tell me about your homework assignments, what's going on, is going to get you, maybe I have homework in these classes, or this homework is really hard. And even if you get a homework sucks or homework is fine, you can follow it up with, tell me about what's happening in math. Tell me about what's happening in social studies. Tell me what's happening in science. So looking for, tell me about it rather than how did it go, which can sometimes have like a positive or a negative feel depending on the type of student you have. But trying to keep things as open as possible and as free of judgment, and you're more than likely going to get a better response than something that's either a yes, no, or a one-word answer. Let's think about some other things like debriefing over a heated topic. Maybe you guys have had a fight, or you're in a disagreement, or something has happened where their emotions are high. Something that I always stress to parents is take a break. You're probably feeling stressed, they're feeling stressed. So rather than continue to try and, hash something out with high emotions, let your teen know, like, hey, this has got me feeling really frustrated as well. Let's take a break for a minute and come back and talk about this later. Don't walk away and just leave it at that. I mean, set an actual time to come back to it. That way everyone kind of knows what's expected and has time to prepare. So, this has got me feeling really frustrated. I'm going to go and take a breather and have a glass of water. Let's meet back in 10 minutes to talk about this again. Or I'm going to go take a walk around the house and cool down. Let's come back, this evening. So when you say things like that, you are modeling how to talk about your own emotions. You're kind of showing that it's okay to be frustrated. It's okay to have these feelings. And you're also showing how you're handling it. I'm feeling frustrated and I'm going to walk away shows like your recognition, it shows something positive that you can do with your feelings, and it sets you up to come back at a time when you're calm. So anytime that we can model the skills that we would like our teens to be able to use, that's going to be helpful and good for them. So in a heated situation or where there's high emotions, asking about their understanding of the situation is going to be really helpful for you in trying to figure out what do they actually understand, where is there maybe miscommunications happening, and how can you clarify? So again, think about asking open-ended questions rather than yes, no, or questions that get one-word responses. So, what do you think happened in this situation? Not what did you think went right or wrong, but what happened? How did you feel about that? What caused you to feel this? So trying to kind of propose things in that way before diving in. I have found that oftentimes I will make assumptions about what my clients are thinking or feeling, and if I ask and really kind of start digging, and sometimes I'll ask the same question in a couple of different ways and start to get slightly different answers each time, that I end up getting to the root of the problem, and it's different from what I had initially assumed. And then going back and having them rephrase things to you. So maybe you have finished this conversation about a topic that has had emotions that are high. You've kind of settled on and are at the end of this conversation. Maybe you guys have made a plan moving forward. Have them relay that information back. That's really going to be helpful in checking for your understanding. I find that this is helpful even if the topic is not heated. Let's say I'm doing problem solving with a client about a particular issue they're having with getting work done and getting it done in a timely manner. We have worked really hard to come up with a solution that we all feel like we've agreed on. I will often have them go and rephrase and retell the solution that we came up with back to their parent. And I will often find that I thought we were in a good place of understanding, but actually there's a few pieces missing, and it gives me a chance to give them a little more input. So if you're having a conversation with your teen about a problem and you've kind of come to a solution and everyone's kind of in agreement, having them go back and retell another parent or retell what's going on to someone else, a close trusted person, maybe grandma, might be helpful if those people are available. And if not, just going back and having them tell it back to you again. And to say, I just want to make sure I'm on the same page as you. So again, then that way you're not asking them to retell something with the underlying feeling of I'm checking to make sure that you're understanding. You kind of put it back on you, which is probably going to get your teen to talk to you a little bit more and be a little more participatory in those conversations. So, all right, we just finished talking about this, problem. I want to make sure I'm on the same page. Can you tell me one more time, what are we going to be doing and how is this going to work? Might be more helpful in that sense. And some other questions that kind of promote teenagers thinking about others, thinking about their own emotions and how those play into a situation. Other things that you might ask if you're reflecting with them might be, how did that make you feel? How do you think the other person was feeling? What did you like about the way that was handled? And what would you want to change next time? These are questions that kind of get our teens thinking about others and their own emotions and how our actions and emotions kind of impact one another. One of my favorite things to talk about or ask a teen is, what would you change next time? Or what would solve that problem next time? Can be really powerful because it can promote thinking about solutions rather than focusing on what they didn't like or focusing on the experience that just happened. So we had an issue in class. Well, what's going to happen the next time this kid says that to you? What do you think you want to change and do differently? Kind of put some power back in their court, get them thinking about it, because chances are the kind of conflicts and things that are coming up for your teen are going to kind of be recurring. And so this kind of gives them a chance to practice before a real problem comes up again. So following up with these kind of questions with reflection on how possible changes in the future might affect others' feelings, that's also great. So, all right, this is your solution. So the next time that X, Y, and Z happens, you're going to try this. How do you think other people will feel about that? How do you think your teacher is going to react if you do this? Can kind of continue to promote that perspective taking, which can sometimes be a challenge for teenagers when they're flooded with hormones and other things that are causing them to kind of struggle to think outside of themselves. So let's talk a little bit about some tips from my teenagers before I let you go.